Hi, everybody. I hope you are all well. Welcome, Fatima.
Thank you
This
so much.
this is week uh, session 11. So we are exactly in the middle of our journey. We have 2 more weeks to go, including this week, until uh, June 5. Awesome. So how are you today?
I am terrific. The weather's beautiful. It's great to see all of these lovely people. You guys are so committed and so loyal. I'm sure you guys have
100%.
learned so much.
100%. Awesome. So tell us.
Amazing, amazing. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. Fatima, you want to tell us about yourself a little bit, and then we go to the book?
Sure. If you want to know about me, no problem.
Definitely.
I'm a mom of 5. That is my greatest achievement. And being a mother for the last, my oldest is 31, my youngest is 15. And being a mom for the last 31 years has been the most inspiring, extraordinary leadership program I have ever put myself into. And it has cost me the most amount of money and sweat and blood and tears and sleepless nights. And I am the incredible woman I am today because of my children. They are my greatest teachers. And I learned so much from them as they go through their lives, studying, meeting friends. They always come home and educate me. And when it comes to my children, I always bring a level of generosity and curiosity and love. And I found that being a mother, we have this notion, oh, I gave birth to you, I know all about you. But what I found as a parent, that is what keeps children stuck and locked into a way of being. So for me, when, like, for example, I'll give you an example. When my kids are like, hey, what are we going to cook for dinner tonight? And my son or my daughter would say, make my favorite. I'll say, what is your favorite? Because I don't want their favorite that I knew yesterday or last year to be the favorite if I don't know. Maybe they're going to surprise me. So if I bring a level of curiosity, it allows them to grow and expand and come home with new information, which I love because it helps me to grow as a woman, as a mother. So that's me. I've been married twice, divorced twice. Um, I am, I, I love life. I wake up every day just wondering whose life can I make amazing? What can I learn? What is this new day going to bring? I'm all about forgiveness because I've experienced a lot of challenges in my life. And every single night before I go to bed, I pray for, let's call them my perpetrators, my abusers, because I've experienced violence in my life. And I believe that when I forgive them, it helps me grow. But I took it to another level because I am a spiritual person. I'm also a practicing Muslim. So what I did was I took it to another level, not just forgive your abusers, but I decided to pray to God that he should bless them with mercy and love and generous gifts. And I thought, if I did this experiment and sent more love and blessings to my perpetrators, and what I found, it gave me this level of expansiveness in my heart. I wasn't holding on to a hot potato, like, all of the time of what had happened or those people. So yeah, and today I have an incredible business. I've created something extraordinary. 11 years ago, I was a welfare mom, collecting a $535 welfare check. Today, I have 2 global companies. We do incredible work. We help women take their pain, their past, their skills, and turning into lucrative coaching businesses. And we have a publishing company where we do bestsellers. So that's me.
Awesome. Awesome. What a journey it has been for you.
Yes, it has been an incredible journey. And on the way, when I changed my questions on what to ask God in the universe, I got new people that showed up in my life that helped me to ascend and awaken in ways I would have never imagined. So I am a grateful human being, incredibly grateful. But thanks for the question, Alireza.
You're welcome. Awesome. So you chose this book, The Five Love Languages. Why did you choose this book out of lots of them that you have?
You know, when you asked me this question about the books, it was so difficult. Okay, it was so difficult, like shelves and shelves of books that I have read. The reason I chose this book is because I wanted to understand my children. You know, when I actually got this book, I wasn't in a relationship with an intimate partner. And I wanted to understand my kids because I noticed that if I complimented one child and complimented the other child, it would be taken differently. And I was curious, like, what I just told you I love you, and then I told you I love you, but it's landing over there in your space in a whole different kind of way. What's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing is when people tell me words like I love you, you know what I say? I go, words are lies, show me, show me. Okay, so you get three people reacting differently with the words I love you in, you know. So for me it's like I've been told a lot of things, and I was like, why is it that even for myself when my kids go I love you blah blah blah, I'm like yeah okay, like did you clean your room, you know, so how we interpret it. And then somebody in a conversation, there's always this amazing people going, did you read this, did you read that, and like, you should read Gary Chapman, Fatima, because you always ask these crazy questions. So I'm like, who's that? Right? So I started YouTubing because YouTube is like a favorite place for me. And started looking up this guy and going, oh, there's something interesting here. Started taking some quizzes, made my kids take the quizzes, and my friends take the quiz. And it's like, it just opened up a whole new realm of possibilities on how I can communicate. And you know, the golden rule. The golden rule used to be do unto others what you want done unto you. And Gary Chapman takes that whole rule and throws it out the window. And he says, no. Don't do to others what you want done unto you. Do unto others what they want done to them. Mm-hmm. So get into the other person's world to understand what it is they want. And that is how you show love and appreciation. So that's why I chose this book. So I've got a PowerPoint. Do you want me to share it?
Absolutely, if you can. Sure.
Okay, so let's go to, did you want to enable, because it says host is disabled.
Okay, give me a second. I'm going to do that. And co-host. Should be okay now.
Okay, awesome. This is going to be a very interactive session. You guys need a pen and paper for this, because I'm going to take you through a quiz. So this is the 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, and it's summarized by me. He's written a whole bunch of other books besides the love languages, but even in the love languages, he has written love languages for your partner, your spouse, love languages for single people, teens, kids. And the 5 Love Languages has been sold in over more than 12 million, translated into 50 languages. Okay, so he's older now. I don't know if he does all of the things that he used to do. But in this particular one, Discover Your Love Language, we're going to go through the 5 love languages. And I'm going to go into detail on what each of them are. So words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. And I'll just go through each one of them. So here's the summary. The summary of the 5 love languages, it describes how we feel loved and appreciated. Each one of us has an individual personality type. We may feel loved differently on how our partners do. understanding and decoding these different ways of showing love takes the guesswork out of your partner's expectation and needs. Now, here is my invitation. My invitation to you is, you don't only rigid and think about your intimate partner, your wife, your husband, your boyfriend. I want you to expand your thinking to, how do my children act? How does my coworker act? Because you're going to see the pattern everywhere. So we're not just talking sex and intimacy. We're talking about connection, right? Because a gift, you would send a Christmas gift to someone. How you write a card to someone may indicate how they're going to understand the message. Okay. Another challenge that parents have, and I know being a parent of 5, when they turn 12, between 12 and 17, it's like they take on a whole new personality and they're unrecognizable in some ways. How do you connect with your teenage son and daughter so they feel loved and appreciated? Okay, so I want you to really like expand your mind, because some of us, like me, for example, I don't have a partner right now, but it's also relevant to the different people in my life. I'm also going to put this in the chat, and I don't know if I can take it right now. Maybe I can. So when this class is over, the Zoom conference, you can go, I'm going to put it in the chat right now, and you can take this quiz. Oops, did I do it?
Not yet.
Let's see if I can. See if I can copy and paste this in the chat. There you go.
Yes, we have it now.
Awesome. So for later on, you can do this. And on the site, you can get the love languages for couples, singles, teens, and kids. Okay? So now it's our turn to get interactive. So now you want to grab a pen and paper and set up your page in this kind of way. Put an A, B, C, D, E, and then put a line beside it so you can fill it out. And then as I go through the questions, here's an example to tally it up really quickly. So next to an A, do 4 strokes. And if you have a 5, put a line through it so you know now that's a cluster of 5. Okay, so if this was mine, I would have 5 plus 3, I would have 8. Okay, and if I got another 4, I put a line through the 5, and then that way it would be easy to tally up. Okay, so I'll give you guys just like a couple of seconds.
How many questions do we have?
7, 14, 21. I think there's about 28 questions, Alireza.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start the quiz. You guys ready? Now, remember my invitation. Think outside the box. If you only want to do your spouse, no problem. You want to do a child, you want to do a partner, you know, think about someone that you want to do, and then you just go with that. Now read each of the statements. So I'm going to read it out. 1, I like to receive notes of affirmations from you. If that's you, put a little check beside A. I like it when you hug me. If that's you, put a little check beside E. So it's either A or E. Question number 2. I like to spend one-on-one time with you. If that's you, it's a B. And the choice for D, I feel love when you give me practical help. 3. C choice, I like it when you give me gifts. The B choice, I like taking long walks with you. Number 4. The D choice, I feel loved when you do things to help me. E.
Fatima, just for a moment, Azad is asking, can more than one apply? I think for every question you can choose one of the options. Is that right?
Just choose one.
Just one, yes.
Thank you for that. Just choose one for now. It'll get you into the groove of things because you always have the link to do the quiz again. Question 4, the D choice, I feel loved when you do things to help me. E choice, I feel loved when you hug or touch me. 5, E choice, I feel loved when you hold me in your arms. C choice, I feel loved when I receive a gift from you. 6, B choice, I like to go places with you. E choice, I like to hold hands with you. 7, A choice, I feel loved when you acknowledge me. C choice, visible symbols of love, gifts are very important to me. And don't get caught up with gifts thinking that I don't want your money. It's not about just money. Gifts can be free. Gifts can be a homemade thing. Let's move on. 8, E choice, I like to sit close to you. A choice, I like it when you tell me that I am attractive. Number 9, B choice, I like to spend time with you. C, I like to receive little gifts from you. Number 10, I know you love me when you help me. A choice, your words of acceptance are important to me. And choose one. Number 11, the B choice, I like to be together when we do things. A choice, I like the kind words you say to me. Number 12, E, I feel whole when we hug. D, what you do affects me more than what you say. Number 13, A choice, I value your praise and I try to avoid your criticism. C choice, several inexpensive gifts mean more to me than one large expensive gift. Number 14, E choice, I feel closer to you when you touch me. B, I feel close when we are talking or doing something together. Number 15, A, I like you to compliment my achievements. D, I know you love me when you do things for me that you don't enjoy doing. 16, E, I like for you to touch me when you walk by. B, I like when you listen to me sympathetically or empathetically. Number 17, C, I really enjoy receiving gifts from you. D, I feel loved when you help me with my home projects. 18, A, I like when you compliment my appearance. B, I feel loved when you take the time to understand my feelings. 19, E, I feel secure when you are touching me. D, your acts of service make me feel loved. 20, D, I appreciate the many things you do for me. C, I like receiving gifts that you make. 21, B choice, I really enjoy the feeling I get when you give me your undivided attention. And the D choice, I really enjoy the feeling I get when you do some act of service for me. 22, C choice, I feel loved when you celebrate my birthday with a gift. A choice, I feel loved when you celebrate my birthday with meaningful words, written or spoken. 23, D, I feel loved when you help me out with chores. C, I know you are thinking of me when you give me a gift. 24, C, I appreciate it when you remember special days with a gift. B, I appreciate it when you listen patiently and you don't interrupt me. 25, B, I enjoy extended trips with you. D, I like to know that you are concerned enough to help me with my daily tasks. 26, E choice, kissing me unexpectedly makes me feel loved. C choice, Giving me a gift for no occasion makes me feel loved. 27. A, I like to be told that you appreciate me. B choice, I like for you to look at me when we are talking. 28. C choice, your gifts are always special to me. E, I feel loved when you kiss me. And the final ones, number 29, A choice, I feel loved when you tell me how much you appreciate me. D choice, I feel loved when you enthusiastically do a task I have requested. And 30, E choice, I need to be hugged by you every day. A, I need your words of affirmation daily. Okay, that completes the quiz. Now it is time for you to tally up your scores. And put down the number, total number of answers. So what do you have there? How many do you have for words of affirmation? A, B would be quality time. C, tally up your number. D, tally up your number. And E, tally up your number. So in the chat, if you're feeling excited and bold and courageous, what I'm looking for is I'm actually looking for two, your main one and your secondary. So that would be your primary. What is your primary? Your primary love language would be the one you have the highest score in. And then the second one would be your secondary love language. In fact, all of us have all five. If you look at them in order, the highest would be the one that you want the most, and it would go down to the lowest. So you can put them in order. You know, I'm number one is acts of service, and you can go in order. So each one of us has all five, depending on how the position of it is. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, so put down in the chat, what's your primary love language? What is your secondary love language? Okay, and then we're going to go deep into what it is. So let's see. Some people are in the chat right now. I'm so excited to see. So B, Sarush, that means that quality time is your primary love language, and words of affirmation is your secondary. Fantastic. Okay. Robin says primary is quality time. Secondary is a tie between words of affirmation and physical touch. So in a tie situation, Robin, you can just ask yourself, what do I like if someone's walking by me and touch my shoulder? Or do I like to be told you're appreciated or loved? And then you can actually figure out your own self, what would be a secondary. And then we have quality time for Azadeh. And Cyrus has put down here that A is 7, DE is tied for 6. So words of affirmation, and then DOE would be acts of service or physical touch. So as I'm going to go through the explanation, you're going to get really clear about where you stand. Okay, so let's take this whole quiz and make a little bit of sense out of it, and you're going to find that it's going to give you either a validation of who you are and where you're at, or maybe surprise, because there's also another thing, and I'm sure Alireza, you get this, and even I noticed that when you go through different stages in your life, your love language may change. Right? So if you're a new mom, for example, you might have you don't want to be told how wonderful you are. Maybe you need someone to do acts of service for you because you need the help. Or you will change the category on where it will. Have you ever done this before, Alireza?
Yes, I've done it before.
Yeah, and when you did it now, were there minor changes in the quiz?
There are some changes.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't much of E before physical touch, but I am more of that these days.
Yeah, because your wife came over.
Yeah, that's right. That's the point.
It's amazing. It's amazing because and we are evolving creatures, and that's how it's supposed to be. As you take another course, as you meet new people, as you get married, have a baby, and it's an evolving process. And the key is to be open to that and go, wow, this is so cool, right? So let's get into each one of them, shall we?
Sure.
Okay. Now, words of affirmation. What words of affirmation is, if you kind of say things like actions don't always speak louder than words. Like, think about your own language. If this is your love language, unsolicited compliments mean the world to you. You know, like, Shore, you're amazing. Alireza, what that presentation you did was extraordinary. I loved it. The graphics you put, right? Hearing I love you is really important, and it makes your, the reasons behind what you do, it sends your spirit skyward. It makes you feel wonderful. Even the insults that you heard, will get wiped away. Now, on the other side of words of affirmation is if somebody yells at you or raises their voice or says something that is hurtful, this goes into your heart so deeply, like you get hurt very easily. So I did a little, I got some graphics online to kind of show you guys for the words of affirmation, what hurts the most. And we're going to actually go deeper into that. But the key thing is this, like, sometimes we don't actually know how to express ourselves. So let's say you are in a new relationship, for example, and you guys are getting to know each other, and it's easy to say to someone, I like to be told I love you, and I like praise. But when you want to teach someone about you, sometimes it's actually easier to say, when you yell at me, or you raise your voice, or you call me an insulting names, this hurts my heart. It really breaks my heart. Now this person really gets like, wow, I need to avoid that situation. Okay, so if your love language is words of affirmation, that is something you want to educate people about. You want to educate. So my daughter, her love language, her primary love language is words of affirmation. And I didn't know this until she was maybe 8 or 9. So if I said to them, come on, stop being such a lazy butt, clean your room, my son would just go and clean his room. And she would start crying. And she'd be like, Mommy, you don't love me. I'm like, oh my God, I love you. It doesn't mean anything about that. And then, we started doing love languages, and I have to like be so calm with her in my words. I got to use different ways to get her and motivate her to do something. But if I ever use a word or raise my voice, so my son would be saying to her, come on, you, stop there. Mom didn't say anything. She was just joking about you being a lazy butt. But for her, it's a sword in her heart. For him, because his primary love language is something different, he's okay with it, right? So it's not saying that you are being so mean. It's just a simple thing like how they take it. It's a criticism. And think about, if the words of affirmation is yours, this is really going to hurt you. Okay, let's go to quality time. If quality time is your love language, then I can say, I love you, but what you really want is my undivided attention. Okay, being there for this person is critical. You want to really be there. So if quality time is important to you or your loved one and they need your attention. So one of my sons, his quality time is really important to him. So he'll come in my office and ask to speak to me. And this is what I'll say. I'll say, okay, Hamza, how important is this right now? And so he'll give me a level of how important it is. And I'll say, can you give me 5 minutes to finish up what I'm doing? Then I can give you my undivided attention. And when I do that, I shut down my laptop, I put down my phone, I leave my space, and I go and I look right at him. And I'm like, what's happening? Okay, but if I'm with my daughter, words of affirmation is her main love language. If my laptop is open and I'll say to her, is it okay if we talk about this while my laptop is open? She's like, okay, no problem. But if yours is quality time, you will not like that. You want someone to just be fully present. And between me and you, if there's a laptop, you're not going to feel loved and appreciated, right? So you want to just put everything down. Even a fork and a knife while you're eating is a distraction for someone whose primary language is quality time, because they want all of you. Like, put down the soap, put down the sponge that you're cleaning with, put down your broom, or even if you're driving, pull over on the side of the road and talk to me, because this is really important for me right now. Okay, so if you have a distraction, or if you keep on canceling a date, or keep on saying, well, I can't do this, or you fall asleep in the middle of a conversation, right? Or you're not really listening. The people who if your quality time is yours, or if it's your partner's, repeating something that they heard, or like say, okay, Alireza, this is what I heard you say. And you actually repeat it. You go, did I hear you correctly? Now this person is like, oh my God, I feel so loved. I feel so special, right? So uninterrupted one-on-one time, creating quality conversations. So listen carefully and share your feelings, right? You want to do, sometimes quality time can also be you do something that you might not really love doing, but the other person really does. Okay, maybe movies is not your thing, but they love movies. So if you can go to a movie with them, now they look at the sacrifice you make and they're like, wow, I really feel loved, right? What hurts them the most is, like right now in the COVID situation and quarantine, if you have long periods apart, if your quality time is important to you, you are feeling it. You are not handling it really well. So you need different ways of handling long periods apart. And it's important for you to say to your loved one or your partner or your child, being apart from you and this quarantine situation is impacting my health. I'm actually not functioning very well during this time because of this. Okay. Another thing that hurts them is when you get distracted. Like if, you want to talk to me and I'm just like, yeah, I know. Okay. And I put my head down, I look up, or I'm on my phone. Oh no, that's a no, because that is going to break that connection. Okay. Or postpone dates. If you keep putting things off and saying, we'll do it tomorrow, we'll do it next week, they take that to heart. That is something, that is important to them, and they translate it, and the story they create in their mind is, I'm not loved and appreciated because he keeps postponing, she keeps postponing. Okay. Is this kind of making sense to you guys? Are you seeing yourself? Give me a little bit of feedback here. I'd love to know, like the two that we did, words of affirmation and quality time. Are you learning something new? Is it a validation for you guys? How are you doing so far? Okay, perfect. Okay, let's go to the receiving gifts. Now, don't make a mistake that this love language is about materialism. I only want you to buy me Gucci and Coach and blah, blah, blah. No. This is not about that. This is the receiver of gifts thrives on love, the thoughtfulness, the effort behind the gift. Like even if you went to, say, a dollar store and you bought wooden things and you painted it for them, that is so incredibly thoughtful. In fact, receiving gifts is my secondary. And so for my birthday, my daughter, who is a words of affirmation girl, she gave me one of the most beautiful gifts I received was this one. She took an empty jar of spaghetti sauce, which is in the house because we washed it out. So she recycled the gift, and she went online and she printed out all kinds of pictures of my family and my loved ones. And she took little pictures and she posted it all around the jar. And then inside the jar, she went to all the people I know and even people I don't know, but she talked to them about me. And she said, what do you like about my mother? And she took all these little thoughts and she put them on little pieces of Post-it notes and papers, and she rolled them up and she sticked them in the jar. So when she gave me this, first of all, I saw this jar and I saw all the pictures of my family and loved ones, and I already started crying. Okay. And then when I opened the jar, they were 50 pieces, because it was my 50th birthday, 50 pieces of paper with love notes from people who I met and didn't meet, why they loved me. And my tears were just rolling down my face as I read. That was a gift that cost no money, but it cost her time and effort. And it was one of the best things I received. Right? So if you speak this language, the perfect gift and gesture shows that you are known, you are cared for, you are prized above whatever they sacrifice to bring this gift to you. Right? A missed birthday or anniversary or something hasty, right? So my son sent me a text message going, oops, I forgot it was your birthday and I'll get you an Amazon gift. I was like, what is this? What is this, right? That's like a spear to my heart. I'm like, I gave birth to you, buddy, right? And so every time I speak to him, I go, still waiting for the gift, still waiting. And it's going to be now a broken record, and he's going to have to hear it. He's going to have to put up with it, right? So if yours is receiving gifts and you know someone, right? So if yours is someone or your coworker, you send them a card, you give them something beautiful that you made and you tie it up together. This is something that matters, because they're like, you thought about me? Really? Oh my God, I didn't know. In times of crisis, the best thing you want to give is a gift of yourself. When you are fully present with this person and you say, how can I support you? I'm here right now. I'm putting everything aside to say to you, I'm here. How can I support you? This is like so valuable in the eyes of the person who receiving gifts is their love language. What hurts them the most is when you are absent. Like say for example, maybe your wife is having morning sickness. Okay, I'll just give you an example. And you're like, okay, you handle it. I can't really help you because what can I do when you're vomiting? This will not go over well because there will be punishment coming. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to say, you know, I know you're having morning sickness. I don't know how to help you. What's the best way? Why don't we go online and look for some remedies that might help you? Right? I'm here for you no matter what. I can't be pregnant, but I am here for you. Okay? What also hurts them is giving hasty or thoughtless gifts, or when they give you a gift and your response is cool or lukewarm. Okay, so what you want to do is, if your spouse or your loved one or your child, their primary love language is receiving gifts, you want to educate them and say, these are the kind of gifts I like to receive. So then what happens then is they're ready and they're saying, wow, I know what kind of gift I can give you, because that's going to be important to me. Because when I give you a gift, I want you to react amazing. I want you to be happy. I want you to be jumping up and down. Okay? Acts of service. So acts of service is actually my number one, my primary love language. And so when you say to me, hey, I'll do the dishes, or I'll vacuum, or you come to me and you say, you know what, your car needs servicing and I got this, I'll take care of it. I'm like, I feel so loved right now. Okay? So anything that you do to ease the burden of responsibilities, acts of service will speak volumes. Maybe your loved one or your husband is starting a new business and they need social media help and they can't do everything, and you step in and you say, hey, you know what, honey, my sweetie pie, I've got a couple of hours Monday and Thursdays. How about I do your social media? How about I do this? How about I come to the office? This person is like, I now feel loved and appreciated. Okay, the words they want to hear is, let me do that for you. I got this. I got you. I'm going to take something off your plate. Because most of us don't just have plates. We have platters full of things that we're doing, right? And for acts of service, if you are sitting around and you're lazy and you don't do stuff, this bothers them. They're like, what's happening, guy? What's happening, girl? Like, come on, right? So to ease the burdens of responsibility with your coworker, your child, your spouse, right? Help them with chores and errands. Make requests, not demands, right? Or, hey, what can I do for you? Don't tell the person, if the person, your loved one has acts of service as their love language, don't tell them what to do. Ask, right? Ask and say, you're doing this, how can I support you? How can I help you? What's going to make your life easier? Even if you change the language in different ways. What hurts them the most is a broken commitment. Okay, like if you don't show up to a meeting, or you're negligent, or you say you're going to do something but you don't fulfill on your word, oh my God, we will judge you. Okay. Also, helping others. What hurts the person with the primary love language of acts of service, if you're like a demanding attitude, you're like, do this. No. They've got the show handled. They just want you to be a support system and help them. Okay? And the last one is the physical touch. Now, this language, it's not always in the bedroom. Okay, so it's not just about, the sexual intimacy that's happening in the bedroom. The person whose primary love language is physical touch is not surprisingly, you are very touchy. You like to hug, you like to touch, you put your hand on someone's shoulder, holding hands, hugs and pats, thoughtful things if you walk past, right? This can be ways of showing excitement, concern, care, and love, okay? Physical presence and accessibility are crucial. Once again, if physical touch is your love language in the quarantine situation, you might be suffering more than others, right? Because you're going to probably feel neglectful. You probably are going to feel like, I need something. So research shows when it comes to child development, babies who are held and hugged and kissed develop a healthier emotional life than those who are left for long periods of time without physical contact. Like I know when I had my babies, I would actually wear them, wrap them up, and put them in a carrier for like almost 2 years, right? I also grew up in South Africa, and in South Africa, when we were born, we had our maids who carried us on the back. And you don't always have to have the mother carrying. The father can carry, someone else can carry. All societies have some form of physical touching as a means of social greeting. Shaking hands, hugging, kissing, and all of that is normal in our societies. Physical touch is also a powerful vehicle of communicating marital love, intimate love, holding hands, kissing, sexual intercourse, as well as communicating emotional love, right? And so if this is your love language, you want to make sure that the bedroom is a beautiful sanctuary, a beautiful space where you can show each other love. So I want some feedback on how you guys doing with this. I'm going to go to the chat and see. You guys are, okay, awesome. You guys are so amazing. I love this. Now I got a chart here that I found, which actually you can find this anywhere you want online. And it really shows you in a nice space how to communicate, what actions to take, and things to avoid. So in words of affirmation, right? And I know the title says how to speak your spouse's language, but obviously think outside the box. How to communicate. For words of affirmation, you want to encourage, you want to affirm, you want to appreciate, listen actively, right? If it's an action, send an unexpected note, text them, card, encourage, and be genuine about it. And what you want to avoid is you want to avoid the non-constructive criticism, not recognizing or appreciating effort. Okay. In the physical touch, how actions you can take is hug or kiss, make intimacy a priority. You want to avoid long periods of emptiness, and you don't want to be cold about it. In receiving gifts, how actions you can take is give a thoughtful gift and express gratitude when receiving a gift. Quality time, you want to avoid long periods of time together. And the acts of service, you want to be able to say, you know, hey, how can I help? What can I do? And it's really interesting because I'll tell you a story about my son, Omar. Omar's been married now 6 years. And when they first got married, I think in year 2, in the second anniversary, they decided to do the quiz of, you know, what is it that we do and finding each other's love language. And he calls me up the very next day and he says to me, oh my God, I just learned something brand new. I'm like, what did you learn? He goes, I took the quiz on love languages. You remember we did that when we were younger and we were growing up? I said, yes. And he goes, you know, Mom, you would always say that your love language is acts of service. So if you came home and the dishes were done and the house was vacuumed, you're like, oh my God, I feel so loved. And he goes, honestly, I really thought that was just a game you were playing so you could make us do chores around the house, right? And he goes, and guess what I found out? My wife's love language is acts of service, and you were speaking the truth all this time. I'm like, yes, guy, yes, yes. That is actually how I feel loved, right? So I wanted to share another story about a woman I spoke to, and she was trying to get her husband to paint this one room. And every day she would tell him, paint the room, paint the room. And he was busy doing other chores and he would fix this and he was a handyman, but he never painted this room. So one day she's talking, the story is in the book, in the love languages, and Dr. Chapman says to her, so does your husband do other things? He goes, yeah, he does. He goes, well, how does your husband, when he likes something or he's happy with the meal you made, how does he react? So he says, Mary, I love this dish. You did such a great job. So Gary Chapman's like, okay, stop telling him to paint the room. So Mary goes, but it needs to get painted. He goes, I know, and he knows, but what I want you to start doing now, this is the clue. If your husband is always using words of affirmation to you, that means his primary love language is words of affirmation. So before you actually do the quiz, listen to how your loved one handles the situation. So the advice Dr. Chapman gave Mary was every time he does another chore, every time he takes out the garbage, say, I love it when you take out the garbage. Thank you so much. I appreciate that you put the hooks up in the garage. So she started doing that because she found out her husband's love language is words of affirmation. So every time she was saying, paint the room, you're taking so long. Why is the room not painted? He was taking it as a jarring, like, oh my God, you're hurting my heart. And the moment she changed to, thank you for taking out the garbage. The hooks you put up in the garage are so helpful and useful. Within 2 weeks, the room got painted. So, right? So the next steps for us is to take the quiz. And I wanted to tell, is someone putting the chat here? What do you guys think about that? Imagine just being able to, Cyrus is like, lol, yep, uh-huh. And so taking the quiz helps you to understand that the way we have been speaking is from our own love language. And it's not necessarily, because there are 5 love languages, and even with this group of people that are right here, in this group, we noticed multiple people, we have different love languages, and our love language will evolve as our life is transforming and new things are happening. So I want to open up for questions and see what questions you guys have about it, what epiphanies and aha moments that you have. Did something surprise you, Alireza?
Not surprising, but it was very good. It was a very, very interesting topic. I really enjoy it because, well, I think all coaches try to help their clients become more flexible in their interactions with other people. And definitely love is one of the concepts that is the concern of everybody. And definitely when we understand there are different ways that we can interact with other people and we are more conscious of that, we become better communicators. We become more effective in influencing other people, connecting heart to heart, as you said at the beginning of this presentation. And definitely these are eye-opening, and it requires practice for sure, repetition and
Yes, yes,
practice, but
yes.
practice makes perfect.
And it also
We get
requires
better.
listening.
100%.
Right? Like if you're the person that you want to create this new communication with doesn't take the quiz, simply listen to how they speak, right? If they're always complimenting you, then guess what? Their love language or their primary is words of affirmation, right? Or if they're saying, I got this, I'll take care of this for you, there's his acts of service. Or if they're buying gifts for you, there's maybe receiving gifts, right? Or, hey, let's go for a walk. I haven't spent any time with you. Or if every time they move and go near you, they touch your shoulder, they put your hands through their hair, it's physical touch. So it's easy to get the clues, and we start listening to our loved ones in a new way, right? And so it's always a growth and an expansion for all of us all the time. And I wanted to, yeah, and so I think I put the quiz in there for you guys. And so your assignment, if you choose to take it on, is to look more deeply into your own love language first. So go online, look for the graphs that are online. There are lots of images with graphics. When you understand your own love language, you give yourself permission to express yourself to other people more. And you always get into the space of becoming a teacher and saying, now some people will say, well, love's supposed to be so natural, and it's just supposed to happen. I'm not supposed to teach anyone. No, it doesn't work like that. Only in dating. But when you actually get deeper into relationships, you want to have a deeper connection with another human being, then you want to take this on. So when you take on your own love language, and sometimes you got to have this conversation like, Alireza, I love that the fact that you say all these nice words of affirmations to me and you're always complimenting me. But I actually wanted to tell you that these actually don't work for me as well as it used to. I've evolved. And when you start looking at a conversation, you allow yourselves as a couple or as a family to say, wow, I'm open to that now. Right? Because otherwise you get rigid into little boxes of who you used to be 20 years ago. But when we first got married 20 years ago, it used to be words of affirmation. Well, my love, I've changed in 20 years. And so when you open up this conversation, right? Or instead of starting with your own, start with, hey, let's take a quiz. Let's find out how we've changed. Let's see where we've evolved. And you can do this with your kids, your family, your coworkers, your boss, even your ex. Like you might find out things if you're co-parenting, you want to have beautiful relationships together, do it with all kinds of people, your neighbors, people that, right? Have a Zoom party and everyone has one of these things and have fun together. And that concludes our presentation. If there's any questions or you guys have anything to say about this, I'd love to see, what did you think of it? Did you like it? What surprised you?
Awesome. So meanwhile, as they're thinking of their questions and typing, I came across this topic as I was browsing in a bookstore, and I found another book of Gary Chapman, and it was The 5 Languages of Appreciation at Workplace. And I read it. It's the same thing, but different examples. And
yes,
it made a lot of sense to me, because at that time I was head of program and I was dealing with lots of faculty members in the university I was teaching. And I used them right away at workplace, and it worked. And I could find the magic of these techniques and the strategies that he was proposing. And I really recommend this book to everybody. It's not about the relationship with the spouse per se. It's a relationship with everybody. And when we talk about love, we don't talk about love for wife or husband. It's love for parents, love for neighbors, for co-workers, for our bosses and everything. And when we understand this and apply, everything changes for everyone, for all of us, for sure. It takes us to the next
Absolutely.
level.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And yes, I know that book, Love and Appreciation in the Workplace. And you are right. It's a universal feeling because we are all humans. And imagine that how many billions of us walking around all have a primary and a secondary love language. And our innate nature is to want to feel loved and appreciated. And the moment you do that, you give that person, your parent, your mom, your dad, your coworker, your neighbor, that feeling, they look at you different. Your connection with them changes completely because now they look at you like you are a very special human being because you took the time to understand how to love and appreciate me. And that is worth its weight in gold. I know that we just finished 30 days of Ramadan, and I would give plates of food to all my neighbors. And different people would take it differently, but that sense of camaraderie and community, everyone is hungry for. Okay, so we have some people in the chat. I don't know how to do this thing.
Awesome. Do we have any question? Let me check Facebook if there are some comments.
I think everything was very clear, Fatima. Thank you.
Oh, you're very
Amazing.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you, Cyrus. Sinaz loves this book. He says, you are brilliant. Ah, you're so sweet. It was very helpful, especially through the observation of what is their preferred way. I think that is the key. Exactly. That is the key, right? Love and appreciate, and sometimes people get caught up on the word love. I don't love this person, they're my coworker. I don't love this person, they're my boss. So let's switch it for appreciate. Appreciate that person the way they want to be appreciated, right? Yeah, absolutely. Suresh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And guys, even if you don't go to a bookstore or you don't go get the book, there's so much information online. And I know we're all on our computers these days. You can find so much. There are videos on YouTube. There are graphics online and summaries of the book. But the key thing is to put it into practice. Like with all of the books that we've done here and phenomenal speakers and great books, until we actually get practicing one thing, you don't actually embody it. Hey, Ghazal. She's in the car. So awesome.
She was
Hello,
driving.
how are you?
Driving. Oh my God, you're so loyal and committed. That's so amazing. I'm great. Awesome.
Yeah, I was at work first. I was in full PPE and I didn't want to miss it because it was so quiet. So I didn't have any patience. And then I was like, I don't want to miss this session. And then as soon as I didn't have charge. So my battery was gone. And then 2 minutes later, I charged it. I got back in the car. I turned it on again. I'm like, I hope I didn't miss so much. I'm going to go listen online on the Facebook.
Oh, I saw you in the full PPE. And thank you so much for all that you're doing on the front lines. We really love and appreciate you. Yeah.
Thank you for the great presentation. I totally learned and I really, really enjoyed this whole book summit. It's beautiful. Thanks, Alireza, and thanks for the speakers for putting their time into this. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you guys. It's 1 o'clock and I know that Alireza is always very punctual, but thank you for having me again. And I really enjoyed this. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, Fatima. So tomorrow we are going to have a session with Sarah at 12 o'clock. It will be grief recovery. And the day after, it will be a session with Solmaz, and she's going to talk about the mindset. So awesome topics, awesome books. So be with us. I will see you. We will see each other tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Thank you, Fatima, again. And I hope everyone enjoys this beautiful day. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.